California keeps trying to convince the country that it's the blueprint. Well, if that's true, then this is definitely the part that they kept off camera.
Not only has Gavin Newsom received $700,000 from PG&E in just the last couple of years, some of this money came from direct contributions and other donations to his wife's gender justice films. Yeah. So they've donated $2.5 million just to Newsom's gubernatorial campaign since the year 2000. And Newsom has been giving PG&E every single rate hike indirectly via California Public Utilities Commission. And get this, every single commissioner has been appointed by him or his predecessor, Jerry Brown. Just to show you how PG&E has got the most from their donations, the CPUC approved 6 rate hikes in 2024 alone. And he sits there and pretends to wag the finger at them for corporate greed, while his own regulatory board approves all of the rate hikes they're getting. Why don't we tag Gavin Newsom and let him know the jig is up, and he's not want to talk about high fucking energy prices. Follow and repost.
Right. I know that's right. Corporate greed is easy to tweet about when your regulator signs the bill. 6 CPUC rate hikes in 2024 from a commission handpicked by Newsom or Jerry Brown, while PG&E drops checks, $700K in recent years, $2.5 million since 2000, and even more routed to gender justice films tied to his wife, as he called it out in that clip. Now, when policies for sale, the receipt shows up in your light bill.
The Nature Conservancy, who initially helped broker the deal to shove farmers off of their ranches and dairies in Point Reyes, is now cashing in on the deal. They're going to be granted $2.7 million to quote unquote help rewild Point Reyes. And of that money, only $78,000 is going to the actual project itself. The rest is in wages for planning and indirect expenses. Complete bogus. On top of that, the letter wields supporters. And of those supporters are those people that we need to be aware of, including Congressman Huffman, who has shown his true colors and is clearly against agriculture. On top of that, Lily Verdone, who is the executive director of MALT, is also in support of this. MALT, if you don't know, is an organization that's supposed to help preserve agriculture, but yet she's a previous TNC employee and clearly on the wrong side of the lines in this battle. I know I don't want people like Congressman Huffman on the board because he is clearly in support of the deterioration of agriculture across our state, and he is time and time again taking out farms. We don't want people like him wielding power. Let's keep people like him out of office.
So $2.7 million of rewild Point Reyes, and only 78,000 touches the project. The rest vanishes into a left-wing NGO complex. Wages, overhead, resume passes with letters of support from the usual Democrat orbit. They say, I don't even know who Rep. Jared Huffman is. Lily. They said, ex-Malt. Okay, prior to TNC. Yeah, Democrats market this as compassion, but it functions as payroll protection for the tribe. In California, nonprofit is a direction, not a description. And every cooked spreadsheet spills onto a sidewalk.
So this is not just another run-of-the-mill violent crime story. For you folks out there who love your children, this story is going to hit you square in the gut. The tragedy happening over my shoulder at the gas station behind me here. 13-year-old shot to death, execution style.
Man, that's sad.
And process this. He was killed in front of his mother. Here's more. Detectives on the hunt for this man, Andres Aiden Chavez. Chavez is the prime murder suspect in the shooting death of 13-year-old Saif Mendez. Investigators say the 13-year-old had gotten out of his family's car and gone into this gas station in the 8800 block of Whittier Boulevard in Pico Rivera to speak with his mother last Saturday night. She was working at the gas station at the time. Detectives say upon coming out of the gas station, Mendez walked past Chavez, who had exited a tan four-door sedan parked at one of the gas station pumps. Investigators say in an unprovoked attack, Chavez allegedly walked up to the 13-year-old, shot him to death. The victim's mother, summoning the courage to attend a news conference, organized by the LA County Sheriff's Department, announcing the ID of their prime murder suspect.
I cannot tell you from just talking with her how difficult it is for her to be going through this as a mother who lost her child.
A child who was at the gas station that night waiting for his mother to finish working so they could travel home together. But on this night, the unspeakable happening. It cannot be overstated. No parent should have to bury a child. LA County Sheriff Robert Luna speaking directly to the 13-year-old victim's mother, who was too distraught to speak at the news conference.
And Clara, on behalf of all of us here at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and the city of Pico Rivera, we're so sorry for your tremendous loss. Yes, we deal with these kind of incidences once in a while, but this one is a little different when we lose the life of a 13-year-old boy.
This killing vicious and dark, investigators say, after Chavez allegedly shot the child, then seeing him collapse. He allegedly stood over the wounded boy, firing multiple more gunshots, execution style, killing the teen.
We are here today asking for your help to locate the suspect responsible for Saeed's murder.
And family members of that precious 13-year-old say he loved basketball, he loved video games like most teenagers. And by the way, maybe a couple of miles from this gas station, at another gas station in this town, someone else shot to death. This was just a few days prior to the 13-year-old being killed at this gas station. Just horrible tragedies.
Saeed Mendez was 13. Pico Rivera. The suspect walks up, fires, stands over him, fires again. You got a sheriff over here briefing the city. $2 million bail set after arrest. Where's Newsom's press tour now? Nowhere. When it's time to protect families, he disappears. Press tour? I ain't hearing him speak on this on none of his mediums. Press conferences for headlines, silence for parents. That's Newsom. This is in no way, shape, or form to mock the homeless, but I want y'all to look at it. No narration is needed. Years of one-party rule, billions in solutions. The streets look like this. When the sidewalk won't move, the slogan changes, and Newsom writes a new one.
This is what Gavin Newsom said a year ago when he went to a homeless encampment in Los Angeles, announcing his new plan to end homeless encampments in California. He said this a year ago, August the 8th, 2024. People are done. If we don't deal with this, we don't deserve to be in office. He said this a year ago. Today, he announced another plan to deal with homelessness, a year after the last plan to deal with homelessness that nothing happened with. And we're here in San Francisco, the scene of Gavin Newsom's pledge 22 years ago to end homelessness. So we're now 22 years into his plan to end homelessness. We're still waiting. A year on from when he said they don't deserve to be in office if they don't end homelessness on our streets. Of course he's not going to get it done. He can't get it done because he can't get anything done. All he knows how to do is talk. This ridiculous announcement today from our buffoon of a governor, 6 government agencies, task force to end homelessness. We know that nothing's going to happen. We know it's a complete joke. That's why I'm running for governor, to actually solve our problems instead of endlessly making them worse.
So August 8th, 2024, Newsom said, if we don't deal with this, we don't deserve to be in office. And a few days ago, August 29th, 2025 of this year, another new plan, streets unchanged, same party, same governor, same mess. And when results fail, Newsom points at a villain.
In LA, do you think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. Everybody knows what's at stake, so we have to put a stake in the ground and do things differently. In LA, do you think?
Now the villain is ICE. They'll chill participation. Participation by who? What? Legal voters aren't scared of uniforms. ICE doesn't target U.S. citizens. Fear is the product. Newsom is the salesman.
In LA, do you think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. Everybody knows what's at stake, so we have to put a stake in the ground and do things differently.
If you're a U.S. citizen and you're legally allowed to vote, what does it matter if ICE is near a voting place? Is Gavin Newsom saying the quiet part out loud? The only people who should be afraid of ICE in this country are people who are in this country illegally. If you're in this country illegally, you have no reason to be afraid of ICE. If you are a U.S. citizen and you can vote, you have absolutely no reason to be afraid of ICE. So what are we talking about by chilling participation? I think it's either one of two things. One, illegals are voting, and he wants illegal immigrants to be able to vote. Or two, the Democrats in California are afraid of ICE. And then you would need to ask yourself why. Because ICE isn't just rounding U.S. citizens up by the buttload and deporting them. Mm-hmm. ICE is not focused on U.S. citizens. They're focused on protecting U.S. citizens. If I saw an immigration and custom enforcement officer near a voting poll or voting booth that I was going to vote at, I would not care. He's not going to do anything to me. I'm a U.S. citizen. And the reason Democrats would be afraid of ICE is because these politicians and the media on the left have demonized them and tried to convince people that they should be scared of ICE agents. When in reality, they should not be scared of ICE agents. So either these Democrats want illegal immigrants to vote, or their careless rhetoric has convinced Democrats that they need to unnecessarily be scared of ICE agents. The same ICE agents that are there to protect them. Neither explanation is good. And again, this is a narrative that the Democrats keep pushing. Trump is talking about using federal forces in the National Guard to help crack down on crime. Democrats keep trying to shift the focus from that and talk about voter suppression and authoritarianism. Because that's what they want to focus on. They want to demonize Donald Trump. They don't want to work with Donald Trump to help get crime down. And I've said this before, they care more about opposing Trump and fighting Trump than they actually care about getting things done for the American people. And it's fairly evident in the way they act if you just pay attention. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter where I go into more detail on many of these topics. The link to this is in my profile. Just go to my profile, click the link. You'll see this screen right here. Drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. That's all I got for now. We'll see you in the next one.
Shout out to Jeffrey, man. But here's the truth. If you can legally vote, ICE isn't your problem. The chill line is a distraction, if you will, from the failures he owns, that he's trying not to own up to. Rates, grants, crimes, tents. So what makes Newsom finally act?
If I could, Sandra, I want to make a comment, a rare note of gratitude to Governor Newsom. He has surprised all of us and done something intelligent. He has decided to send the state police, California State Police, into his major cities to help local cops fight crime and violence. Now, you don't have to be a senior at Caltech to know that that's in response to the Trump administration's threat to send in federal law enforcement officials. But look, I'll take it. If that's what it takes to get Governor Newsom to stop being a princess, I'll take that too. If I could, Sandra, I want to make a comment.
Oh, man, pressure. The second the Trump administration threatened federal law enforcement, Newsom suddenly did something smart. Sent state police to help local cops so he could act the whole time. He just wouldn't until someone bigger than his donors was watching. Can, for whatever reason, can't fix the streets. Newsom tries to fix the speech, though.
Well, look at this. So Newsom's team thought they could get an account strike on my TikTok, thinking that would silence me. But what they didn't know is Team TikTok loves my content to the point where now I'm meeting with the head of TikTok governmental advocacy in Washington, D.C. to make sure that Governor Newsom and his team don't try to silence TikTok creators from getting their messages out about Newsom and using their resources to get account bans or strikes on people posting about Newsom. So it's going to backfire. You should have just let me post. Now I'm going to just get your little plug in trouble. Well, look at this. So,
but you. Yeah, they tried to smack my guy right here, Spencer Pratt, off TikTok. Political strike. Same old trick. It backfired. I'm surprised they trying that while Trump is in office. Now he's meeting according to him, he's meeting the head of TikTok's governmental advocacy, I think that's what it's called, in D.C. And the page says, what does it say? Account in good standing. Wow. They couldn't manage the streets, so they tried to manage the truth. Newsom's playbook exposed. Boom. California doesn't have a bad luck problem. It has a Gavin Newsom problem. That's what I'm seeing. You know, the CPUC raised your bill while PG&E padded politics. His friends ate a $2.7 million grant while $78K touched his hand. Touched the land, rather. While a 13-year-old was executed. He changed the subject to ICE. He promised. Fix it or we don't deserve to be in office, right? A year later, another plan, same sidewalks. This is the part they keep off camera. Not anymore. Now, if you're done with the excuses, today I want you to type in the comments, we see you. Right after you hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you haven't already. But y'all be safe. Go check on a friend today. You could be saving their life. Peace.